Right, so Bowe, and Gerwitz part two. This summary doesn't really talk about anything that I haven't said already. By all means, pause the video and take a quick note of it. I'm aware that I've added in this box on my copy of the sheet. You don't actually have a summary box on your Bowe and Gerwitz yellow sheet. But that being said, you can by all means take notes on this because well, if I do say so myself, it's quite a good summary. Okay, it's quite well worded. It uses keywords to try and get you to engage with it. That being said, in short, may as well go over it. Bowe and Gerwitz looked into the impact of the introduction of policies like league tables, Ofsted, and other policies, which basically got schools to compete with one another. They found that although the intended consequence was to get schools raising their game, although that was happening, a lot of unintended consequences came about too. The schools would try and get the top achievers to sort of, well, they would try and boost them, okay, to make sure that they got the top grades, so that they look good on the league tables, and they also put a lot of effort into taking middle ability students, so those ones sort of resting on a D or a C, and taking them to a B, so that again it looked good on those league tables, okay. But if a student didn't fit either of those labels or those sort of criteria, then they were pretty much neglected and labelled as sort of doomed to fail. Okay, they were given easy work to make sure that they just sort of kept going, but didn't really sort of do anything with the school. Okay, and equally with this idea of a parentocracy, they did observe the fact that middle class parents were what they called skilled choosers. Okay, so basically middle class parents had good know-how. Okay, they knew how to get their kids into the best schools, okay, because they had contacts, they had resources, because they have more money, okay, and they have more sort of cultural capital, okay, linking together concepts. But basically, they had middle class students basically ended up having a better chance of getting into a high achieving school. Okay, that's the basic premise of it. Working class parents were not as well informed as middle class parents, and therefore their child had to settle for a lesser school. Okay, there's no other way to put it other than that. Okay, so Bowe and Gerwitz were looking into the inequality that was caused by these policies. Okay, so this is all good stuff to be able to say. Positives and negatives. So a negative is that they neglect some of the success stories of working class students who managed to really work hard and achieve highly and get into those sort of top ranking universities and jobs. If we give an example of like Alan Sugar, for example, that's a pretty good example, although obviously he would have gone to school before this sort of thing was happening. Equally, people do manage to make it despite these policies. A positive though acknowledges the middle class advantage. Okay, it's true. Middle class people outperform working class people. Okay, Marxists would probably approve of this theory because realistically, they're acknowledging the fact that the bourgeoisie dominate education. Okay, but don't get confused, guys. This is not a Marxist theory. Okay, so do not talk about the bourgeoisie. If you are going to talk about the people who get a good advantage out of education, it's the middle class. Okay, it's the middle class, not the bourgeoisie. But a positive is that you can have wider theorists agreeing with this. Okay, it is showing the unfair nature of marketization policies. Okay, the Thatcher policies of 1988. Okay, so not as scary as it looks. Okay, there are a few keywords you need to know, and there's quite a significant portion of the course that you would need to understand to a good degree in order to access this case study. But once you do understand it, it is really easy. Okay, really easy indeed. Okay, so as always, guys, if you have any questions about this one in particular, drop me an email. More than happy to talk you through it. Cheers, guys.